Hello, I'm Jeff McCausland, founder and CEO of Diamond6 Leadership and Strategy. For over a decade, we have had the great pleasure to work with leaders from public organizations and corporations to accomplish our mission, which is to develop confident and effective leaders who have the greatest impact not only on their organizations, but on their communities and the world as a whole. At Diamond6, we have created a series of experiential leadership workshops using iconic events and locations from American history. And I am thoroughly convinced in my work that modern leaders can learn a tremendous amount from the leaders of the past in preparing themselves for the future, which we all know is going to be dynamic and full of great change. Consequently, we at Diamond6 are very, very excited about our new partnership with Colonial Williamsburg to offer our signature strategic leadership workshop on the Yorktown battlefield. Think about it for a moment, because victory in this particular battle, coupled with the Declaration of Independence, is really where the United States actually begins. And Colonial Williamsburg played a critical role in these particular efforts. We begin our seminar at Colonial Williamsburg. This is where the Continental Army and our French allies assembled after the long march from New York. After an overview conducted the evening before, we'll travel a short distance to the Yorktown battlefield. This will be conducted by a Yorktown historian and an experienced leadership facilitator. This iconic historical site offers participants the chance to reflect on numerous enduring leadership principles that were critical in our success back there in 1781 and remain so, I would argue, to this very day. Consider the following. Team building, which all leaders have got to work on constantly. George Washington has been developing the Continental Army as a team since he assumed command back in 1775. The American Army at Yorktown is quite different from the ragtag group of militias that began the war. Furthermore, Washington has been developing key subordinate leaders that will now be essential in achieving victory at Yorktown. Second, strategic thinking and planning. Contrary to popular belief, the war in 1781 is not going very well for the Americans. In the late summer, Washington will review and reevaluate the strategy he has for the war and make a fundamental change and new decision to move the army south in an effort to lay siege to British General Cornwallis at Yorktown. This change in strategy requires great analysis, in-depth planning, the ability to sell his ideas to his subordinates and the members of the team, and a tremendous amount of risk. All variables organizations today confront almost on a daily basis. Next, building a coalition. In many ways, success at Yorktown is dependent on the Americans' ability to build and maintain a coalition with France, a challenge more and more organizations face today. Washington has to work very closely with a French general by the name of Rochambeau and an admiral by the name of de Grasse for the planning and execution of this particular operation. And finally, conflict resolution. The Americans have to negotiate the actual British surrender on a number of factors. The coalition and keeping it together, the pressures of time, etc., and how this is all going to wrap up on the battlefield. We will actually go to Surrender Field for the final part of our particular seminar, where the British actually lay down their arms in surrender as the song, "The World Turned Upside Down," is played. On behalf of both Diamond6 and Colonial Williamsburg, I look forward to meeting you and have you join us for the Yorktown Leadership Seminar. We believe you will find it not only a unique experience, but one that will further develop your team and your leaders for the challenges you face. Thank you very much.